Jin is back. He has been finally discharged from the military. I have been really looking forward to this. A lot of armies have. But of course, there has to be some level of drama. Nothing can ever go 100% smooth. Somebody has to do something to piss me off. While I'm just so happy that Jin has returned. But his fan meet under Festa with getting to hug a lot of the armies, which was at his request, which I am hugely impressed by. Obviously, someone just had to do something stupid, but I'll get more into that in my podcast. Hi, I'm Monique. I am the host of Off by Purple Heart podcast, where I talk to you about K-dramas, C-dramas, BTS, and so much more. And finally, I can get back into the BTS side of things. I have not done a BTS-centered video for this podcast in a while, mainly because I've just been overwhelmed with the content. There's just been a lot of things going on the back end, but I had to do a welcome back podcast for Jin, and I am so impressed by literally him being discharged and being thrown right into Festa. I'm assuming this was all by his choice, but I can't imagine having a year and a half in the military, and he became very close to a lot of his brothers there in the military. And I say brothers, but I just mean friends, fellow soldiers as well. That I'm listed. I saw some footage. I don't know if it was official footage, but it seemed like he was comforting a lot of the soldiers. They were very, very emotional, which makes sense because a lot of them are super young. A lot of them going in and they're like 18 years old, and you know, you build a lot of bonds. You get put through the test a lot. So to see him come out the other side and see so many soldiers that he obviously had a great impact with being really tearful and emotional, obviously it meant quite a great deal to him. But my God, like just the footage from everything from BTS being there to greet him. All 7 guys were there. I believe Yoongi was in a vehicle, but the rest of them there was some photography that was around the grounds of his discharge. Namjoon, for whatever reason, came out with a saxophone. I love that he's part of the military band. Like that's just so on brand for Namjoon, and I love how proud he looked with the saxophone. And I know since he's written a letter, and he basically said, you know, yes, I got the laughs with the saxophone, but I had very mixed emotions that day, and obviously he would. It's a lot. It's really heavy, and getting to see all the guys there again, and Namjoon being able to offset some of that emotional punch that obviously the guys were going through, the fans were going through as well, viewing all of this, and how much we were looking forward to the return of him. Him bringing that saxophone was a lot of fun, and all the pictures that we got afterwards, you know, Jin's live, it's been just wonderful. And to see how they've changed, like Tae looks like swole, like Tae looks big, man. And I just it's just so refreshing to see them again. I'm even noticing like I'm getting a lot of clips on my feed now of some additional behind the scenes stuff, not even just in regards to Jin, but even with like Yoongi and D-Day, and a lot of clips from like Namjoon backstage being like super nervous and like hands trembling, and you know, JK being there, and you know, Yoongi showing some concern. It's like, I think you need a knee brace. Even like the playful interactions of Jimin with his day with Yoongi on D-Day as well. And you know, I'm always here for some good human content. Like I love them. I love their interactions. I think there's such a unique dynamic in BTS. There's so many unique dynamics in BTS. Could do a whole video just talking about human. But bringing it back to Jin, I have to review a lot more of the footage. A lot of what I saw from the Festa and his stage performance that he did feels quite literally after he just got discharged. He like right onto stage. The gorgeousness of the stage setup alone is just but I know that I've watched the fan cams for the astronaut and for Moon. Moon is like one of my favorite solo songs, not even just from Jin, but just period in BTS. There's so many solo songs that they've done within like the BTS discography, not even just talking about their solo work. And I'm very curious at what direction Jin's solo album will take. But I love Moon so much. The fan camps I watched, the girl that was recording it was very, very excitable, and understandably so. So her voice is like really, really loud, and I just appreciate that she had really clear angles, but her voice completely drowns out Jin because of the excitement of it. And I totally get it. Like, girl, I see you, I get it. But I gotta find other fan cams where I can actually hear his voice and actually get to really take in the breathtakingness that is the music. I also saw Super Tuna as well, and I love the extended version. The choreography always makes me laugh because the dancers always look like they're having the time of their lives doing it. And just because I know how initially embarrassed Jin was releasing that song, I love it. There's just so much to take in. But unfortunately, in the midst of all this euphoric high, something annoying and just disrespectful and infuriating had to happen. And yeah, I guess we're gonna talk about it. Tell me why, when Jin's first order of business is to do this fan meet to coincide with Festa this year, and despite the many reservations of HYBE, and I totally understand why, it would be very risky to have such a high profile celeb say for a fan meet he wants to personally hug thousands upon thousands of fans. And through Jin's own words, he compromised with the company because there's a lot of back and forth on the time duration. And from all appearances, it looks like the event overall went pretty smoothly. You know, most of the fans were very appropriate. It was a quick hug. You know, Jin had a really big sign that was super adorable. And I think someone has speculated online that part of that too was to add like an extra barrier between him and the fan too, so both parties would feel comfortable as well. Because, you know, as a gentleman, that's something you'll think of too, right? And it looked like it relatively ran smoothly. But tell me why this fan felt that she had the right to kiss him on the neck. And it's like, why? Why can't you guys just let these events just be? It's already a risk doing this. Everyone else is on their best behavior, and there always has to be one person that has to push boundaries. There always has to be one person that just has to take a step further. You're already getting like an in-person interaction with Jin. You already have won the army lottery. I understand that there were some international army that were at this event, but this is primarily a Korean event, right? This was hosted in Korea. It's most likely a huge percentage of the fans that were lucky enough to win the opportunity to get to hug Jin. It was mainly a Korean event, right? So for a lot of international fans, you're just not going to be able to ever get that kind of opportunity. So it's already a very specialized event, and you've essentially won the lottery. And getting to personally interact with him and be one of the first people to see him from being discharged from the military, which already is a mentally and physically taxing thing. He could have spent several weeks off kind of decompressing from everything that he just experienced, spend that time just exclusively as a civilian with his family and friends and what have you. But he was immediately jumped right back into activity and being an idol, just being out there, concluding the celebrations of Festa for 2024. And to have to be that person has to ruin it. It's just gross. I don't know what else to say about it. It's gross. And it is assault. For those that are online that are saying it's not that big of a deal, it's just a little girl, he's a grown man, and he's rich, and da-da-da-da-da-da, and we as fans do X, Y, and Z for BTS, what's the matter if it's a little kiss? No. It was assault. He put up a boundary. He said that I am consenting to hugging you guys. That's it. If he wanted a kissing booth, he would have set up a fucking kissing booth. He did not do this. Why do people feel the need that it's okay to just assault people and do things without people's consent, and then put the caveat, well, they're a celeb, they are at a privileged class of people, so they should be able to tolerate bad behavior. Get the hell out of here. Seriously, get the hell out of here. When I see that kind of commentary, it makes my blood run cold. Because to me, if you have that kind of stance, to me, you already have sketchy ideals. Because if you're willing to excuse that behavior towards a person because they are at a different financial standing than you, then God knows what happens just to the regular average day person that is dealing with the trauma of being assaulted and to grave extents, and then looking for support, and then being questioned, well, how did you put yourself in that situation? What were you wearing? Did you go out this time of night? Like, I just already don't have a great opinion of you as is, if that's your arguing basis as to what this fan did at this event was absolutely tolerable. It's so disappointing to me, and it's like, why it's always one person has to ruin the experience for everyone else. And it may not have soured the experience in totality for Jin. He seemed, in some of the clips that concluded the event, really surprised at how quickly and efficiently the event ran, right? And overall, it just looked like a really great celebratory time. So overall, it seemed like a really huge success. I definitely look forward to seeing additional clips of different fan cams, different angles. Maybe not ones where I was watching where the person that was recording was like super duper excited, even though I totally get it and she seems really cute. But it does leave a sour taste in my mouth. It's like, of course, there always has to be something. There always has to be something. It's super disappointing. But outside of that, I am so happy that Jin is back. I really, really am looking forward to them coming together. I want to see Grown and Sexy BTS. I want to see the full chapter 3 of BTS and really no F's given type energy. I don't know if they'll go back to making music that has more a political edge to it once they've all concluded their service. I would appreciate it. There's quite a few world events right now that obviously a lot of us aren't fully privy and aware of, and I would love for any form of commentary about that. And music can be very political in general. But I also am looking forward to more genre bending, and a lot of what, say for example, Namjoon did with his recent work that he put out. It was still within the wheelhouse of the music that I expect from him, but it definitely creatively was more divisive. I've seen a lot more feedback where a lot of fans are kind of like polarized on how they feel about his latest music, but he did say this was very true to him and this was stuff that he really needed to get off his chest, and he's a very introspective man. So I would love to see more genre bending from the other members as well. And I think pretty much for majority of the solo work, it was very explorative in nature. I would like to see rock BTS, to be honest, a little bit. Definitely going back into their more R&B roots as well. I have so much that I look forward to seeing from this group going forward into the future. But I just want to see them together again. I miss just the content heavy stuff. Just seeing them and seeing them commemorate and talk, like the In the Soup series were some of my favorite of their work outside of their discography. Like, I love Run BTS, Trust and Believe. The variety show is awesome and a lot of them are super funny. I think them and the whole Zombie Zoo Night run is like one of my top episodes ever, favorite episodes ever. But I really love In the Soup and getting them just to kind of play with one another, break bread with one another, and just kind of talk. maybe not give specific details because a lot of that's going to be private to them, but just their general overall thoughts about life in general and how they continue to work as idols and them aging and them maybe wanting to branch off into other creative pursuits as they get older. Like, I miss the in the soup type, just seeing the guys as is type content. And that's what I'm really looking forward to in 2025 and beyond. And I really want to see them and how they're going to grow and change. I already know the fans are going to be there. I fully expect that records will be broken, and there's going to be a bunch of articles that are going to be the personification of the Pikachu surprise face. Oh my god, BTS is still breaking records even after how many years that they were in military service. Oh my god, the army Bora effect is still in charge. Oh my god, they're still getting number ones across the board. Oh my god, they're still the best-selling K-pop group. Oh, I can't believe it, my eyes. Like, I look forward to all the rigmarole because they're obviously going to break records. The fandom is just as strong as it ever was. I have a lot of anticipation, a lot of anticipatory energy for 2025 and beyond. Even though online I haven't been posting actively as much content as I used to. I used to be on TikTok so much doing BTS content, but now a lot of my focus is on this podcast, and I pick and choose when I want to speak in general about BTS in general. I feel like this was a hallmark moment. Jin coming back is legendary in itself, and I look forward to seeing what his solo effort is. But I do hope he gets some time to rest too. Like, it's kind of a lot, I know, or I assume that this was his choosing to engage and finish off Festa with ARMY as well. But I do hope he gets like an extended period where he can rest and then get into like his solo work going into like Q3, Q4 of this year. But we'll see how it all pans out and plays out. There's always content. One thing about being in this Borderland journey is like there's just never a lack of content. There's always something that I need to be catching up on. Life and its responsibilities, man. I just always feel like every time like I think I've hit the surface and I've caught up on everything, there's like a whole slew and gold rush of more content for me to analyze and go through. So it's an ongoing battle, ongoing journey. You know how it is. If you're ARMY, you most likely if you're watching this and you've gone up to this point, you're like hardcore ARMY. You know how it is. Anyways, that'll conclude this episode. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you are on YouTube watching this video podcast, please let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think about this hugging event in general that Jin hosted? I really have nothing else to add as far as the girl that decided to exploit the situation and do what she did. I just, whatever. If you're listening via Spotify or Apple Podcasts, I appreciate you. Got a lot of love for you. Still got a lot of reviews coming down the pipeline, a lot of K-dramas. There's a couple that look interesting to me. There's one in particular that isn't getting as much traction as I would like, but I'm hoping in the next coming weeks there'll be more talking about it because it looks very, very interesting. And I still have some C-dramas I have to review. So until then, take care, morning, noon, and night. I hope you're having a great time. Till the next one. Bye.